Alright, I'm sure most of you know what this is, the Boker Kalashnikov AK74. This is the CTS-XHP version. This was sent to me by Micheal Zechman from the EDC Brotherhood. I really appreciate him sending it to me, especially since he bought it brand new and shipped it straight to me. I have had it for a little while now. I'm glad to be finished up with it. All I have to do is resharpen it and cut a sharpening notch in here where they have none. I'm not much of one for out the side automatic knives. This is about the only thing I don't like about it. Absolutely zero sharpening choil there. But the AUS 8 versions, these are $40. This XHP version, and there were different blade styles available, was $60. And Michael wanted to know if this was a solid deal. I was also curious. Tested, between a few of our channels here and just my own personal testing that you guys have, it wasn't for you, it was just for me. Cold Steel and Spyderco XHP is pretty even. It consistently tests in the mid 60 to 62 HRC range. A whole lot of it seems to be around 62 HRC. For the most part, production-wise, they all perform about the same. So I was really curious how this was going to do. I almost bought one of these many times myself. I gotta be honest, the whole automatic thing is what kept me from picking one up. I mean, when these came out, I can't tell you how many times I looked at them. So, go ahead and show you some sped up cutting footage of what it did, and then we'll come back and talk about it. Let's get cutting. Alright, so there we go. I ran the test, verified the test. I always verify at least once. Any of you guys that have been here a while know that. I want to know that the data is repeatable before I say it will do X. This is, like all the others, 15 degrees per side, 1500 grit finish, strop to 6 micron, 3 micron, 1 micron. And if I can find a little piece of paper here, maybe. As you can see, even after the test, it's not, it's the furthest thing from dull. Like always, I stopped the test because somewhere here in this 1-inch section, there is a spot that will catch on paper. But let's go ahead and talk about how it did. As far as stainless steels go, XHP and S90V are pretty much the two that I enjoy using the most. They're my go-to stainless, especially XHP for the way it drops back. You guys have seen that already. Those of you that have used XHP quite a bit, I'm sure you also know that the amount of times you can drop this back still amazes me. So for the first test, and I did sharpen this 3 times before I tested at all, so this would be the 4th edge. This cut 124 feet fine edge before it quit shaving, and 190.6 feet before it hung up on a piece of paper and quit cutting it clean. That puts it, I mean, this is just above Cold Steel XHP and just below Spyderco XHP. I mean, we're talking, within 1 or 2% of Cold Steel and still single-digit percent away from Spyderco XHP. So close that if they were all the same knife, it would be a wash. I'm in the under 10%, we're good type of rule. So for the second test, I went back and sharpened it again. And the second time, I got 126.6 feet fine edge before it quit shaving and 190 feet working edge. So for $60, this is a solid deal. It appears Boker does XHP just as well as anyone else. As far as production XHP goes, there aren't a whole lot of knives anymore available in it. Not like there used to be. No, though, if you pick up a Spyderco Cold Steel or now even one of these Bokers in XHP, they're all pretty equal. I mean, I kind of wish Carpenter would make this steel more widely available again. Or maybe it is and I just don't know. But I'd love to see a whole lot more XHP out there. XHP is one of those steels that works way above its pay grade. I see it compared to a lot of other steels, but in test after test, I know Cold Steel likes to compare it to their S35VN and say it's pretty equal, but it consistently outperforms production S35VN in fine and working edge. I do have some other S35VN tests coming up. I am probably going to run this one, the 0801. I have done the Cold Steel S35. I do have a Spyderco S35 to do. I also have another ZT and S35 that I'm working on, as well as a few others. I have a Wedon S35, and I haven't decided what other ones I'm going to do yet. Either way, XHP, if you find one of these secondary, I'm not sure what's left, new at Blade HQ, definitely a solid deal for $60. And thanks to Kenny at In the Pocket. We were talking yesterday. I am going to go ahead and keep this a little longer and do some edge retention testing on it. It was already tested by Kurt. I don't recall what it tested at. I'll look for that information after I do edge retention testing on it. And I have to ask Kenny, but I'm pretty sure this has already had enough edges put on it that I can just go ahead and sharpen it and test it. Look for that coming up. Oops. Solid deal though. Thanks to Micheal Zechman. I appreciate it. Solid deal here, the XHP. As soon as I cut a choil into this and get it sharpened, I'll get it back to you sometime next week. As always, I appreciate your time, and thanks for watching.